Good morning, everyone. I'm Kristina. I'm here at the Missouri Botanical Garden where we are going to do a live walking tour for you this morning. We're going to take you through some of the tulips. We're going to check in on some of the earlier blooming irises, walk past the hostas, and we'll see if we don't see some azaleas along the way as well. We've got a lot to show you, so here's Cassidy. Safely distanced away. We're here in the maze right now next to Tower Grove House. And we will make our way out and start this tour. It's a really warm, sunny day this morning. You can see there's not a cloud in the sky. We can hear a lot of birds as we're walking too. Now we're passing by here the Sachs Museum, where there's a really nice bed of tulips that we haven't checked in on in a while. We're walking under some dogwoods right now. We'll stop and take a look at those flowers. So these bloomed very quickly, and now you can see they're already leafing out. And here behind this pink one, we have a white one. So here's this bed of tulips. And now let's actually take a peek here in the House garden. Back here there's a lot of bleeding heart. Let's see if we can't get closer on that. You can see how much all of these trees have leafed out lately. It's really just looking greener and greener every day. Now we're coming up to the daylily garden where Taylor is working. Hi, Taylor. We do have a limited number of staff on grounds working on getting some of those summer plantings ready. So you can see that these daylilies aren't looking like daylilies yet. And they are a later bloomer, so they'll probably be starting to go in late May or early June. Now here on the left, we are coming up on the iris garden. And this won't reach peak probably until mid-May either. But there are a lot of early blooming irises right now that are starting to come out. So we want to stop and show you some of those. Let's get close up on some of these. Let's walk back here and see a few more of these.
And this is one of my favorite beds in the iris garden because all of the varieties of iris in here have some kind of fun name after a storybook character or comic book character. So this one here is Iris Tweety Bird. You see the resemblance. There's some hybrids in here, cultivars in here that have Harry Potter names. This is Kermit here.
Yeah, somewhere in this bed there's a Dumbledore. I don't know if it's blooming yet.
I think this is Grindelwald here that isn't blooming, but I'm not entirely sure. Obviously we haven't had the staffing to be able to put out our traditional labels in the beds here. So this one, based on the labels I can find nearby, is either Spider-Man maybe, or it could be Grindelwald, but I think that's the taller bearded iris here. Jurassic Park is another one. There's just lots of fun. I mean, this whole bed is filled with irises with fun names. Kristina has written about that before on our blog. About
yes.
The irises and all of their fun cultivar names.
There's one out here called Cajun Cooking. That one's my favorite because I love Cajun cooking. But yeah, you can see the variety in color here. And whenever this does reach peak bloom, it's just beautiful.
That's Troublemaker.
This one's called Troublemaker. So we'll be back to check on the irises as they start coming in, but we just wanted to show you the beginnings of them today. Yes, Christine mentioned that Dumbledore is a taller, silvery blue one. That is correct. And yeah, we didn't see it blooming quite yet. Can stop for a moment and take in the central axis view here. Now here we're coming up through the hosta garden. And a lot of these are looking great already. Let's walk down this path here and show you some.
Kristina, while we're here, I will just mention, as we have on some of our other tours, while the garden is closed, there are some places to gain a vantage point into the garden from outside. So we have a couple of people on Tower Grove Avenue here getting a view in towards the hosta garden and the bulb garden, and you can sort of see you can see quite a bit from that space. So I've actually seen almost daily people stopping by this fence just outside of Tower Grove and Flora Place. It's nice and low and provides a really nice look in at what's happening here. Lots of color here in our crab apples. And we had another yellow magnolia that just recently started to bloom. We featured a few different varieties of yellow magnolias.
This one right here.
On our tours before. And it's just sort of a really pretty exclamation point amongst the soft pinks and whites of all the crab apples here.
Ashley, that's a good question. I don't think we have an exact number on how many foxes live at the garden. But I will say that they have been pretty active. They're pretty shy. And I've seen many more than usual when I've been here, I think because there's less people around. I came in the other morning and there was one sunbathing in the middle of a field stretched out like a cat. I've never seen one just resting that worry-free before. But we do have quite a few of them, and if you're lucky you can see one every now and then.
For those that might hear it in the background, the noise of construction equipment, we are currently in the process of building a brand new visitor center here at the garden. So that work is still continuing on the Jack C. Taylor Visitor Center, and we're still hoping to get it open on time. So that's about the only thing other than birds and rustling leaves that you would be hearing at the garden right now.
And here we're walking along the swift pools now. We've visited these a couple times, but you can see some tulips, and it looks like a lot of the daffodils have already stopped blooming now. Take a walk through the Linnaean House today.
And this was something we wanted to show off that's blooming here in the east window, this octopus agave. And you can see what it does is it blooms up the stalk. So these are flowers that are sort of already spent. And then these are things that are just getting ready, or just open, and then all the way to the top where those haven't opened yet. So that's a really interesting feature of agaves, the way that they bloom up the stalk like that.
You're seeing a lot of our cactus and succulent collection here. But if you want a behind the scenes look at more of that, we did a greenhouse tour a couple weeks ago now with Derek, who is the senior manager of the nursery. And you can see even more of our cacti if you want to check that out. It's on our YouTube page, or you can scroll back on Facebook and find it there too.
Different,
another kind of iris here.
Japanese iris. And so we have that large, the Goodman Iris Garden that is a favorite every year around Mother's Day, but there are lots of different places around the garden to see at different times of the year. So this is one that's in the Linnaean House. There are also irises in the Temperate House, and there's Japanese water irises along the zigzag bridge in the Japanese garden, and those are more of a early summer bloom. So it's a really great way to see the different kinds of flowers that are coming out of the iris family.
And here again is evidence of the construction that's going on. Behind this green wall is where the majority of this site is right now. Now ahead we're coming up on the Azalea-Rhododendron Garden, which is starting to look really, really beautiful. So let's take a walk through there.
And I think this would be a good time to just remind everyone who's anxiously awaiting for the garden to reopen to the public that if you'd like to support us during this time, you might want to consider purchasing a membership, which would start once the garden is able to reopen to the public or making a donation. You can find information about both of those on the garden website, mobot.org.
All right, thanks for joining us on our tour today. We're gonna go ahead and sign off, but we will certainly be back. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you soon. Take care, everybody.